everyone and welcome back to Junyoung Plays. My name is Logan and today we are playing Breath of the Wild. So in today's video we are going to be exploring the Hebra region, and the Hebra region is the top two regions on the top left. As per usual, we're going to explore each of these towers, starting with the Tabantha Tower, which happens to be this tower right here. In the Tabantha region also happens to be the final Divine Beast that we're going to attempt, which is going to be Divine Beast Medoh. I'm very excited to get started. Here we go. To give you guys some context on how the video is going to be structured, the first thing we're going to be doing is we're flying over to Tabantha Tower to get a general layout of the area. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to explore Retail Village and attempt Divine Beast Medoh. Afterwards, we're going to go over to Hebra Tower and check out that area. I found two really cool minigames that I want to show you guys. Once you get into the area of Tabantha Tower and are unable to fly all the way there, you will have to fight your way up through a horde of enemies. Using Urbosa's Fury in this situation is very smart because not only do you deal massive amounts of damage, but you will also be able to do crowd control. Also, don't be afraid to use your elemental weapons on tougher enemies in order for you to focus on the weaker ones. Once you arrive at Tabantha Tower, you'll discover that Tabantha Tower is covered with malice. You'll be unable to climb the tower without taking damage. What you have to do is you have to come over here and shoot an arrow at an eye of malice. Once you do that, this pillar will fall, climb up that pillar, and you'll be able to claim the tower. Once you're on top of the tower, you'll notice that there is a fairy fountain nearby. This will be the last of the 4 great fairy fountains that we will discuss in this series. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it will be 10,000 rubies in order to open up and utilize this fairy fountain. Unfortunately, as you guys notice up above, I only have 3,648 rupees, so I cannot do this right now. However, because I knew this was coming up, I made preparations in order to sell some stuff in order to get up there. One of the preparations that I decided on doing is I went back to Zora's domain and I talked to Leto. Just as a reminder, if you give Leto 10 luminous stones, he will give you 1 diamond. I've been doing this for a while and I have 28 diamonds. I plan on selling 14 of them to get to 10,000 rupees. If I sell more than 14, it will just be extra money in order for me to spend it on something else. After I received 10,000 rupees and a little bit extra to spend for later purposes, I went back to the fairy fountain. The Great Fairy Fountain in the Hebra region is controlled by the Great Fairy Kesa. Now that you have all 4 fairy fountains open, you will be able to upgrade your armor to its max level. The next thing that we're going to be doing in today's video is we're going to attempt Divine Beast VAH MEDOH. Now, Medoh is all the way up in the sky, and it's impossible for Link to get all the way up there by himself. He's gonna need some help. Out of all 4 Divine Beasts that are in the game, Divine Beast Medoh is by far the easiest and most simplistic because it has the shortest storyline quests. However, as an extra precaution, I decided it was worth my time to spend my spirit orbs and obtain as many hearts as I possibly could. While you are exploring Retail Village, also make sure to buy the Snowquill Armor Set. Now this is very important because the Snowquill Armor Set will provide you cold resistance. Other than the warm doublet, this will be the only armor in the game that will give you cold resistance. The Hebra region is very mountainous and also very snowy. By wearing the Snowquill Armor Set, you will not need to wear the warm doublet with a fire weapon. You will also need this armor set to attempt Divine Beast Medoh just because it gives you cold resistance. Finally, one of the last things you should do while you're in Retail Village is talk to Fyson. Fyson is a Rito who desires to open up his own general store. He also has a mom who pesters him constantly. This will give you the green light in order to invite him to Tarrey Town. Fyson will like the idea of being able to run a general store all by himself, and he departs to the Akala region. Once you return to Tarrey Town, you will notice that he runs an arrow shop. He will be selling all arrows in the game except ancient arrows. Afterwards, you can head back to Hudson and give him 50 bundles of wood so we can complete all of the houses. As one of his last requests, Hudson will tell you that he got engaged, and when you ask Hudson who he got engaged to, he will tell you that he got engaged to Ronson. Hudson will then request you to find a priest so the priest can officiate his wedding. You can find the priest among the Zora people. Luckily, I do not need to run over there because I've already visited Zora's domain. The best way to complete this mission now is just to fast travel. The Zora that you're looking for is a guy named Capson. He will ask you if you know any engaged couples, and when you tell him that you do, he will immediately go off to Tarrey Town to be the officiary of Hudson's wedding. The next thing on the list that Hudson wants you to do is he wants you to invite guests, more specifically his boss Bolson and Carson, the ones that you'll find back at Hano Village. Head back to Hano Village and invite the 2 slackers who are still sitting by this tree to Tarrey Town to attend Hudson's wedding. He grows up so fast. It seems like only yesterday that Tarrey Town was just a spot on the ground and I was running around doing errands for my guy, and now he's married. What a beautiful way to take a break from saving the world from everything. Well, this was an amazing ride, this Tarrey Town adventure, and thank you so much for paying me 3 diamonds. It's not as if I did all of this work by myself. Anyways, back to saving the world. After talking to the elder at Rito Village, he will ask you to find Teba, a Rito warrior who is currently at the flight range. In order to get this information, you first have to talk to Saki, and she will tell you that Teba is at the flight range. Afterwards, a cutscene will play, and you'll be introduced to the champion of the Rito, Revali. Revali is very prideful and very pretentious. Throughout this entire cutscene, he treats Link like his inferior. Good luck not dying. Oh wait. Anyways, after that cutscene happens, you will meet up with Teba at the flight range and he will task you to shoot 5 targets in up to 3 minutes. This task is ridiculously easy because every single time you pull out your bow, you will slow down time, and with the updrafts, it will replenish your stamina, so even if you run out of stamina, you will never fail this mission. With that performance in the bag, Teba will then accept Link's help in order to take out Divine Beast Meadow. The next thing you're going to be doing in this mission is taking out the cannons of Divine Beast Meadow. And don't worry, Teba will definitely draw their fire.
That's it. Watch out.
In all seriousness, once you destroy all 4 cannons of Divine Beast Meadow, you'll be able to board it. Like all Divine Beasts, you'll be able to control the innards of the Divine Beast using the controls on your Sheikah slate. Using those controls, you can then find the 5 terminals scattered around the Divine Beast. The first terminal I found was on the left side of Divine Beast Meadow, and I activated it here. The second terminal you want to do is you want to make sure to use your Magnesis tool to keep the fan in the wind and have the little pillar there strike that button hard enough to open up this gate. Once this gate is open, you can then activate the second terminal. The third terminal I found was on the outside, and what you want to do here is you want to make sure Divine Beast Meadow is tilted to one side, then drastically switch it to the next side. After that, paraglide over to this terminal right here. Once the ground settles and you're able to regain your footing, make sure you activate this terminal right here. The next terminal is on the opposite side, but the same concept applies. What you have to do is you have to make sure Divine Beast Meadow is directly over on one side and tilt it over to the next. By doing this, you'll be able to ride the gondola all the way to the opposite side, climb these stairs, and then you will find your next terminal above. You do not need to wait for it to be parallel to the ground, you can just walk up to it, but I chose to have it parallel to the ground. Finally, the last terminal that I found, you have to use a bomb in order to blow up this area here. Once that area is clear, you can use another bomb to go down the same pipe and use the wind in order to open up a door that has a metal ball inside. Once you have the metal ball, make sure that it's placed above the button. Next, what you need to do is close the window. You do not want the wind to maneuver the ball away from the button. Once the ball hits the button, it'll open up a gate and you'll be able to activate this terminal. Once you have all 5 terminals, head to the terminal on top of Divine Beast Meadow. It will be here that you will have to face off against Windblight Ganon. During the fight, you can also utilize wind geysers to either get away from attacks or shoot Windblight Ganon from above. You will also need to use these wind geysers in order to get high enough to shoot Windblight Ganon with your arrows. Make sure you always aim for the head, and if you do it enough times, it will fall and give you an opportunity to rush in with your ancient weapons. If all else fails and you are unable to use a wind geyser to get away, you can also use the columns as a form of protection. As you deal the final blow to Windblight Ganon, it will explode and you will meet the spirits of Revali, the Rito champion. After some short dialogue, Revali will gift you Revali's Gale. Revali's Gale allows you to shoot yourself up in the air. It's very good when you're trying to climb or when you're trying to get over something. Finally, once you're reporting your success to the Elder of the Rito, he will gift you the Great Eagle Bow. The Great Eagle Bow belonged to the champion Revali, and what it essentially does, it allows you to shoot 3 arrows instead of 1. The final thing we're going to be doing in this episode is we're now going to explore the Hebra Tower, which is over in the distance down there. I'm very excited to get started. Here we go. Once you arrive at Hebra Tower, you'll start to realize that you need to melt the ice in order to climb the tower. There are 3 ways to melt this ice. The first way is to make a campfire with wood and flint, the second way is to use fire arrows, and the third and slowest way by far is to use a fire weapon. Because I wanted to save resources, I decided just to hold the fire weapon and slowly but surely melt the ice in order for me to get through. It's very important to reiterate, by this time you should have the Snowquill armor because you will freeze up here, especially when you're exploring the 3 areas I'm about to mention. Up in the northern Hebra region, you will find the last labyrinth. The first one we found was in the Akala region, the second one we found was in the Druida region, and finally this one will be in the Hebra region. Unlike any of the other mazes though, this maze is packed full of dangerous Lizalfosses. If you are not careful, you may get overrun in this maze. A good strategy to use, if you have it, is use Urbosa's Fury to take out the weaker ones, while you can focus your time taking out the stronger Lizalfosses. As for the maze itself, it actually wasn't that bad. I was able to complete it within 10 minutes. Out of all the mazes, this is definitely by far the one I struggled with the least. Like the other two mazes, once you enter the shrine itself, you'll be rewarded with another item from the Barbarian sets. Having explored the other two mazes, this means that the Barbarian Armor Set is now complete. The next thing we're doing in the Hebra region is we're now exploring the two mini games that I found that I thought were very interesting. The first has to do with shield surfing. In order to do the shield surfing minigame, you will have to go up to Selmie's spot. Now Selmie's spot is north of Hebra Peak, and if you want to do this minigame, it will cost 20 rubies. To start out with, Selmie will first have you do the beginner course, which consists of you just going down the mountain as fast as you possibly can. If you break 45 seconds, Selmie will encourage you to go to the advanced course. The advanced course is longer and will end at the bottom of the mountain. It is during this course, upon completion, that Selmie will reward you a shield based upon your performance. Getting a time under 1 minute and 30 seconds will reward you a royal shield. However, I was never able to get to 130. I would always clock in somewhere around 1 minute and 45 seconds. Having said that, with that kind of time, I was rewarded the Knight's Shield. Leave down in the comments how you guys attempted Selmie's point, because I have no idea how to get there in 1 minute 30. Another minigame that's in the area of the Hebra region, that's right next to the Hebra Tower, is located right here at Pondo's Lodge. The best way for me to describe this minigame, it's basically snow bowling. You'll need 20 rupees in order to play this minigame. Like regular bowling, you will have 2 shots in order to knock down as many pins as possible. If you hit down pins but don't get all of them, you can clean them up in a spare. If you get all 10 though, that is a strike. Starting from lowest rewarded rubies, if you get 8 pins, you will get 20 rupees. If you get 9 pins, you'll get 50 rupees. If you get a spare, you get 100 rupees. And if you get a strike, that is 300 rupees. If you come to master this bowling game, you will come to realize that this is a great way to make fast rupees really quickly. By far the most reliable and easy way to get strikes is to throw it on the right side. Make sure your snowball hits the slope before any of the bumps. By doing so, it will roll straight. Even if you don't get a strike, the possibilities of getting a spare are very high. In other words, by rolling a spare, you'll be able to walk away with 80 rupees, and if you roll a strike, you will walk away with 280 rupees. Alright everyone, that is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. In the next episode, it will be the series finale. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one.